going on? It's your boy Adam. It is another day of chaos to come back. I would say more comeback than chaos lately, which is good. I think, I'll start trying to get more regular with the plugs and the whole make sure to give it a thumbs up so that the algorithm blah 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 and all that. So don't forget, give it the thumbs up and subscribe and all that stuff before you even know what it's about. So yeah, what is this channel about? I'm gonna have to give a little bit of a intro bit for the new watchers as to because every time I do a video, it's just a completely random thing I'm talking about, and people have occasionally chimed in to say, dude, what the hell is your channel even about? And so in 2022, I had it all. I was living the dream. I had a nice, life. And I totally threw it away over some stupid social media posts and got thrown in federal prison for 2 years for social media posts. And came out, lost everything. And when I say, I mean just about everything. A few random possessions and material things somehow made it through. Lost my family, friends, career, and within a month of being released from prison was homeless, living on the streets of Jamestown, New York. So this is the documentary of the struggle and the comeback from that, and just whatever happens to be going on any given day since. If you look at the channel history, you can go all the way back to the second day I was homeless, and I've been putting up content pretty regularly since. So there's your 2-minute intro. Once again, if you want to give it a thumbs up, do it now. So that because it helps. I've been noticing little upticks in the channel impressions that YouTube dishes out, and it really is based on the number of people that show up in a certain amount of time and give it a thumbs up. So leave a comment. If you're just a douchebag troll, I'm gonna just boot it. But if I don't delete comments I disagree with, and people say what they want, but there's one, I think it's one troll with 15 different accounts that keeps coming back. And I did a live stream last night, and it had to be the same person. He would come in, just leave a dumbass comment. I'd kick him off, show right back up with a different screen name. I'd kick it off. He did it again. I kicked him off. And because he was just, he was an asshole. And so I think it's hilarious that someone's got that much time on their hands and they have that much of a vendetta against me that they're willing to create 15 YouTube accounts just to go leave one shitty comment on a channel of a guy who has 1,200 subscribers. It's like I have a creepy stalker. It's like a girl who has a creepy stalker chasing after her, sending her random messages, and it's like a random stalker. You don't know. You can't go to your car out in the parking lot after work without having to have an escort, because you don't know when you're gonna get, Bill Cosby'd and wind up in Bill Clinton's basement or some shit. So that's where we're at. So yeah, adam@litgood.com is how you get a hold of me. I'm doing a live stream every Thursday from 7 to 9. That came about 2 reasons. People were complaining because I started posting videos after I record them, and it got to the point where they were 2 weeks delayed. And they were all waiting for me to move into a new place because some crazy stuff was going on. And if you're regular, But I got into this habit of recording videos and then lining them up so that there's a new video showing up every day. And I'm in that rhythm now, and I don't have to do it every day. I don't have to, I can do it when I have time to do it, and then queue up these videos to just sequentially run. And so after today, I don't have to do anything until next Tuesday, because videos are queued up between now and then, and I've got a batch of videos that I can I've got another batch of videos. All I have to do is upload them and give them the titles and keywords and descriptions and stuff. Takes a little bit of time, but I'm in this flow. So because of that, I'm not doing like live breaking news on the scene kind of reporting. So I don't know why it mattered, but every Thursday from 6 to 8 Central, that's 7 to 9 Eastern, you can drop in and holler at your boy, and we'll, the last 2 live streams have been fun. The channel regulars are in there, and people direct the flow of what we're going to talk about. And I'll probably dig into like StreamYard and some other things. I want to, get some more people on the screen. But the chat makes it fun because you can just ask a question. You can direct the direction of whatever it is that we're talking about that night. And no commercials on the live stream when it's live. When the replay comes out, I'll turn on the ads. I don't like the fact that YouTube, when they run ads during the live stream, you'll miss whatever's going on in the live stream. That's like watching the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the 1-yard line. There's 4 seconds left on the clock, and they're 1 point down on the score. And all of a sudden they cut to a commercial, and then when the commercial's over, you come back to the game and everybody's out on the field and you're trying to figure out who won the game. So I'm not going to do that. If it was just where you would watch one ad when you jump into the stream, and I'll get like, a thousandth of a penny or whatever they pay you, fine. But they want to run ads on intervals, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. Maybe if I get more professional about it and I can have like, I don't know if YouTube Studio queues up the ads and like tells me when there's going to be an ad, so we'll be right back after this break, that kind of, but no, fuck it, man. We're here to have fun. That's all it is. So what's going on in my world today? I did my online grocery shopping weekly order today, and that'll probably be showing up. I'm probably going to get cut off this video to go when they deliver it. I'm digging it. I was kind of worried about online grocery shopping, especially with like fresh perishables, because you're going to get the milk that expires tomorrow. You're going to get the moldy lemons. You're going to get the apple with the worm going through it. You're going to get the wilted salad. You're going to get the blackest bananas. I just figured that's how it would go. It really hasn't been like that. And there's other benefits that I never even thought of until I tried it for the first time about a month ago. I think this is my 4th time doing it. I knew it would save me time and energy having to walk to and from the grocery store. The grocery store is not even a mile away. But if you've seen some of my other videos, I also, at my last place I lived, I was less than a mile from the grocery store, and I'd put on a backpack, a backpacking bag, walk to the grocery store, get 50 pounds worth of groceries and bring it home. But there were just things I couldn't carry. I'm not opposed to going there and doing it on foot. But I decided to try it out for a month, and there were some benefits that came out of this that I didn't even think of. One of the things I like about Amazon shopping is if you have to even if you're out of the return window but you have a warranty issue, like say you buy a product that has a 4-year warranty and 3 years in it breaks. A paper receipt, if you got a paper receipt from a store, the ink isn't even going to be visible on that. The NCR paper, those, you got to take a picture of that with your cell phone if you want to keep it. You're not even going to be able to prove that you bought the thing. I've had Swiss Army backpacks that have a lifetime warranty, but if you cash it in, they ask you for proof of purchase. And twice I've had backpacks that didn't completely get destroyed, but that I could have got a warranty replacement on, and I don't have the proof of purchase because I bought them at, Office Max or whatever. Really high-end, like computer laptop backpack with a lifetime warranty. Wagner, the Swiss Army knife company, best backpacks for that shit that you'll ever buy. I usually get like 10 years out of one of these backpacks, but both times they wore out, I wanted to I'm like, damn, I wish I kept the receipt. Now you get it on Amazon and you got a receipt. All you gotta do is log into your Amazon account. Okay, here it is, boom. So now with the groceries, I don't need to have my order of lemons receipt for the 10 years from now. I don't really need to look that back up and go, oh yeah, I need to get a refund on those lemons 10 years later. But you don't have paper receipts. So, but it is a benefit even with grocery shopping, because you can look up what you paid for things quick. Like if you're trying to see, oh, those things are more expensive than I remember. Well, are they? Go back. Last time you bought them. Oh, they are more expensive than I remember. And so things like, because you have you got an easy to look up trail of what you did. Yeah, they're tracking everything that you buy. I mean, that's part of that's one of the downfalls. Those shopper club cards that for every store, your loyalty cards, they're tracking everything you buy there. So the only way that you're not being tracked is if you pay cash. At this point, it's like, unless I need to buy, 500 pounds of fertilizer, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, and if I need, I'll pay cash for that. So, so anyway, I decided to, because I was talking to you guys before a couple of times about my coffee and how much coffee was costing me, and I've got it down to like cheap, 50 cents a day for coffee. No more I don't go to Starbucks, Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, none of that. I don't need to. I've got gallons of coffee, cold brew coffee in my fridge. It costs me like $2.40 a gallon. A gallon for a gallon of cold brew coffee. And I'll get it down to cheaper than that once I get a coffee grinder and I can buy whole beans in bulk. And I'll just keep whittling it down. But this is something I drink coffee every day. So I took that idea a little farther this week. And I'm not going crazy with it. This is like, I got 15, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I did a little bit of it while I was grocery shopping today. I was waiting for the bar to go across the screen to save some video files, upload some files. I really couldn't do much with my computer without risking interrupting those processes. So I started grocery shopping because I wanted to do that around noon or before noon. And so I have this spreadsheet set up, Google Docs. It's got the item title, a rating, 1 to 5 stars, the source of where I get the thing, Walmart, Amazon, Kroger, H-E-B, whatever it is, the price, the quantity, and then a column for the unit of measure, which that's real important, and then the price per that unit of measure. And so like the first thing I did, I looked up the frozen pizzas that I buy, and I threw all that data in one row, and I figured out, okay, these are the pizzas I always get. The base cheese pizza, but they come out really good. The cheese trio brick oven pizza from Red Baron, that's like the bomb ass oven pizza. They come out perfect. And I always put extra stuff on them. That's how I get rid of, if I have stuff in the fridge that I've got to use up, fresh perishable food, and I'm just making a frozen pizza for dinner because I'm lazy and tired, then I'll just grab like, oh, I got to use up this ham, I got to use up this bacon, oh, I got all this different cheese, I got to, I don't want it to go bad, okay, throw this cheese on there, got some onions I cut up the other day, throw those on, whatever it is. I got some frozen sausages, thaw out a few sausage patties, cut them out, put them in, whatever. So it's always a different pizza. So I just get like a plain base pizza and then just put stuff on it, just because it's 15 minutes. It's 5 minutes of putting stuff on the pizza while the oven warms up to temperature, and then put the pizza in for 15 minutes at the max, and it's over. Dinner. Boom. I haven't ordered a pizza. I haven't had a pizza delivery in forever. There's a place called Brothers Pizza. I tried their Stromboli once. It was really good. I'm a little farther away from that place now, so it is what it is. So I priced out, I was talking in a previous video, I priced out my coffee creamer and compared my homemade caramel tres leches coffee creamer to the store-bought coffee creamer I was getting, and mine cost 21 cents per ounce. The store-bought cost 14, but mine's better. So it's not even always about what's the cheapest thing that you can get. It's a balance between quality and price. Sometimes the cheapest, whatever it is garbage. And, why would I do that? Why would I do that? So I'm kind of treating it like a game, but not an obsession. I'm curious. So today I was grocery shopping, so I'm like, I buy cold cuts all the time because, there's 10 different ways to use them. I can make a sandwich, I like doing cheese and crackers. So I'll have a few different kinds of cheese, some crackers, and I'll grab some meat, cut it up, put it on a board, munch. Like that's typically when I come home from the 50 miles of bicycling and 8 hours of the bakery, cheese and crackers is where it's at. That's pretty much like the easiest thing for me to grab. And so I was like, okay, let's go through the cold cuts. I went through the last 3 grocery trips, deliveries, looked at all the cold cuts I bought, put them in the spreadsheet, priced per pound. And here's something that the grocery stores do all the time to confuse you and to get you to give up and just go impulse shopping. By law, they have to put on the price tag the price per unit, but they always make it really small. They move it around. So, it's here, then it's here, then it's here, then it's here. They always move it around, and then they change the unit of measure on it. So like this one will be this much per ounce, this much per pound, this much per ounce, this much per cup. They don't give you a standard unit of measure when they tell you the price per whatever unit. So I'm sitting in front of a freaking computer now. It's not like I'm in the grocery store trying to figure out all this crap in my head and I'm just like, forget it, I'll just get this one. Because I give up. Now I can just be like, oh, this much per ounce, go over to the calculator that calculates price per ounce and turns it into price per pound. Oh, there we go. I can put all this in my spreadsheet. The grocery store. Try and buy toilet paper at the fucking grocery store and figure out which one's actually the cheapest toilet paper. You can't. Because this is price per sheet, price per square foot, price per roll, whatever. They don't they'll give you 6 or 7 different units of measure across the whole toilet paper aisle, and you're just like, I don't fucking know, I'll get this one. This one feels good on my ass, so I'll take it. Soft and cuddly on my bunghole. That's what I'm gonna get this week. You don't know, like, you know, and it's not like, do you want to buy the sandpaper, toilet paper that's super thin, that's you're gonna get poop on your fingers, you know, or do you want to get the good stuff? And you just kind of like, you want to know, like, apples to apples, which one's actually, what is the actual price? If you're grocery shopping online, you can sit there with a freaking spreadsheet in front of you and just type some fucking numbers into it, and boom, it tells you. And you don't have to be standing there with a shopping cart and your phone going, how about taking 20 minutes to buy a roll of toilet paper because you just fucking give up. So that's a really cool thing. I wasn't even thinking of that when I did online grocery shopping. I'm like, so like I do make impulse decisions when I grocery shop. I'm like, oh, that looks good. Grab it, especially in person. And I'm not gonna like not go to the grocery store in person again. It's just going to be like for certain things now. Like the glass bottle milk that comes from the farm, where I know it came from a real cow and not some genetically modified thing that's just some bag of pus that shoots out milk or whatever they do for that comes in them crappy plastic jugs with the Great Value brand. Fuck no, I'm not touching that milk. And it's so, yeah, I'm paying more for milk. So speaking, sometimes I got more money to spend on groceries than other weeks. And so I can kind of focus on what's the best buy and how do I get my $50 budget for this week's groceries to get me what I need, And so cold cuts was this week's focus. I just was like, okay, all the cold cuts that I've bought over the last month, how do they stack up price-wise? And so the cheapest cold cuts I tried out were this Great Value brand, the fucking Walmart brand that I hate, Black Forest ham 1 pound pack. And there was just it was weird. It had this weird texture to it. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just wasn't like, it didn't seem right. It just wasn't right. Some genetically modified plastic pig. I don't know. It was just weird. And it tasted okay. I had cheese and crackers with it, put it on a couple pizzas. I used it up. It was a pound. But it's the cheapest cold cut in the stack, $3.97 a pound. But then I found these Smithfield boneless quarters of ham, thick slice, so it's pre-sliced, and you buy it in either a 2.5 pound. You buy by the weight. It's kind of like deli price, but it's either going to be like 2.5 up to 2 3/4 pound. But it tasted really good. It was really good. I made sandwiches from it, used it for cheese and crackers. It's $4.57 a pound. You just have to buy almost 3 pounds of it when you buy it. But per pound, that was number 2. That was the second cheapest meat on the list. And I'm like, per pound, if I get a 3 pound hunk of that thing, that's way better than this Walmart bullshit. And it's only like, what was it? 60 cents more per pound. So a pound of ham goes a little ways. So I'm like, that's worth it to not get that crappy ass Walmart brand and get this instead. It was even cheaper per pound. So the Smithfield, the ham block, the pre-cut block of ham, is cheaper than the 1 pound tubs of now the Great Value brand had other ham, but it was better than the cheap stuff. And I tried that. So they had a 1 pound tub of Black Forest ham that was thinner slices, and It tasted better. It tasted like, it was better. It didn't have this weird texture like the cheap ass ghetto ham had. And but the Black Forest ham and the turkey that came in the 1 pound tubs was $5.97 per pound. So now we're like at $1.50 more per pound for meat that doesn't even taste as good as the $4.50 per pound ham did. So why would I get these instead of that? This is cheaper and it tastes better. So, out of all the meats, and then the thing on the meats was on the website as I'm looking at all this, half of the meats that they sell they show you the price per pound, and then the other ones they show you the price per ounce. So I was looking for pepperoni, and every other bag of pepperoni, well, this one's this much per pound, this one's this much per ounce, this one's this much per pound. Which one, what the fuck is what? And so you can't, so they do that on purpose to just make you pick one. Just fuck it, I'm gonna go with this one. And then they'll trick you because they'll be like, oh, we'll have the Great Value generic brand. And like I said, sometimes the generic brand, the shitty Walmart brand, will actually be more expensive than a more reputable brand solely because they trick you into, well, this one's this much per ounce, but this one's this much per pound, and you can't even do that math while you're at the grocery store. So you're like, fuck it, I'll get the generic one because it's obviously cheaper, and then you find out it's not. And so you got duped. And so you can do this. Now, I have a spreadsheet in front of me. Next time I do my online grocery shopping, I can just tab back and forth. Oh, and see if the, meat. But that doesn't mean, I'll still impulse shop. I'll be like, oh, I'll check this out this week or whatever. So, doing this from home, you got, your price per unit comparison calculator and all that stuff up in front of you. You can do this fast. You can like figure out these things really quick. You could be like, well, I want to try this one, but what about this one? This one seems like a better deal, but is it? No, it's not. I'll go with the better one. And it's that fast. And then the more you track stuff like that, the more informed you are to like, okay, is this really a good deal or is it not? And then I can look at other stores like Amazon. I've got Amazon Prime. They do grocery delivery from Whole Foods, and I've noticed that there are things at Whole Foods that are cheaper than Walmart and Target. And so why not go with the cheapest one? Especially if you're getting a good, for certain things. For example, Amazon had mason jars. 6-pack of half-gallon mason jars was like $30 or something like that on Amazon. I don't even remember. It was expensive. And at Target, they were like $12 for the same 6-pack of half-gallon mason jars. And so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Same thing with groceries. You can pay at one store, you could pay twice as much as what it costs somewhere else. There were things on Walmart that I looked up, vanilla extract. This one bottle of vanilla extract on Walmart was $30. On Amazon, it was like $5. I mean, $30 or $5 for the same fucking thing. So you gotta you gotta pay attention, because especially because of people's laziness now, they'll get you. But I'm not trying to be obsessive about it, because that's just a lot of time to waste. But you just chip away at it. I didn't go and I was like, maybe I should do the same thing with cheese. And I'm like, next time I go grocery shopping online, I'll figure out how much all the cheese costs and see what I'm paying for the cheese. But there'll be a record of every single block of cheese I bought. So I'll know exactly. And I'll know the Great Value cheddar sucks. The Great Value brand American cheese, it fucking blows. It doesn't melt. It's like prison cheese. Straight up, it's like prison cheese where you can take a piece, in prison, we could take a slice of the American cheese, put it on a flat top grill, on the grill surface, and it would just kind of dance around and bounce around and shit, and it would never melt. It would never fucking melt. Plastic would melt. This cheese would not fucking melt. I don't know how, I don't even think you could call it cheese. I cooked some stuff up. I bought the Great Value American cheese instead of the Velveeta like a fucking dumbass. And sure enough, I had some chicken patties and I put the cheese on them, put the plate back in the oven, pulled it out like 2 minutes later, the cheese didn't fucking melt. I'm like, what the hell is this? If it was Velveeta, it would have been bubbling and melted and completely done. I'm like, can I put this Walmart cheese in the oven for 2 hours? Is it gonna melt or is it just gonna turn black like plastic? I don't know. So I'm not getting that again. I don't care what the cost per pound is, but I'll know what the cost per pound is because I want to get like the Velveeta or the Kraft and get that to the same level price per pound that the shitty stuff is. So that's what I'm getting at. Like you can play around if I had a spreadsheet and a laptop at the grocery store while I'm going around, maybe I need to get one of those scooters at Walmart, but instead of being a fat piece of shit going around the grocery store in a scooter, I'm riding on a scooter because I need a laptop in front of me and I can like do all the math and stuff, grab my shit, throw it in the thing. You know, it's like my little scooter office. But no, I mean, that's one of the cool things about online grocery shopping that I never even thought of until I was like, you know, you can really like, because making a spreadsheet is nothing. It's easy as hell. And once you do it, entering new values in, it's like 20 seconds to take this brand of cheddar cheese and compare it to that brand of cheddar cheese and which one's the better deal. But like, you know, I have for the rating system, 1 to 5 stars. I have 2 meats that I ranked as 4 stars. The weird ass Walmart ham got 2 stars. The other Walmart ham and the turkey got 3 stars. That's basically meh. 2 star, you know, 1 star is like unedible. Like 1 star is like, don't ever buy this again. 2 stars is like, if you're broke and you've got $10 to your name, you may as well get the 2-star ham. But otherwise, 3 stars and up it's the only thing you want. But the ham, the block of ham, the one I was talking about, that got 4 stars. And there was a salami that I got, and I've been putting it on the pizzas, eating it with crackers and cheese. I bought it a couple of weeks in a row. I gave that 4 stars because it's pretty damn good. It's priced per ounce, so I had to convert it. It's $7.41 per pound, but you get a 14-ounce bag, which is less than a pound, and it lasts for several meals. I mean, you get a lot. That's a lot of salami. It's not, you know, so it's, you know, the price per pound isn't that big of a deal. You're paying like $5-6 a pack, and it's going to last you the whole week. They got this cracked pepper turkey, like it's in the deli area, but it's like pre-packaged. It's cracked pepper, like marinated turkey breast slices. Oh my God, this stuff is the bomb. 5 stars. I gave that 5 stars right off the bizzat. It's so good. But it's $10.85 a pound. So if you're gonna buy a whole pound, they sell it in half-pound packs. So you're paying like, you know, $5 to $6 a pack, and it's good. You're basically gonna get like a meal out of that, maybe 2. Depends on how much meat you want. But it's so good, it's worth it. So basically the way I'm juggling this now is if I'm well stocked on cold cuts. If I got a fridge full of like, if I got 4 different kinds of cold cuts and I've got stuff in the freezer as backup and I'm good to go, then when I go grocery shopping, I'll be like, let me get one of them gourmet cold cuts. Maybe 2 of those, throw those on the grocery bill. Because I'm well stocked on all the swill. You know what I mean? So maybe give me some of the good stuff this week. Just don't spend a lot on it. Just, 1 or 2 meals, that's good. So mix it up. Have some good shit, have some swill, have the mediocre stuff. And just kind of mix it up and do what you can do with it. So if I'm well stocked on the cold cuts, I'll get some good stuff, the 5-star meats, as I figure out what they are. There are other things I'll try out and throw on there, but if I'm understocked, then I'm just going to get 2 big blocks of that ham. The ham I was talking about, because that stuff was delicious. And that'll be like, one will have to go in the freezer because I won't be able to eat it fast enough. And then, if I find things on sale, coupons, whatever, I can start to stock up on things when I know I'm going to get a good deal. And I'll know I'm getting a good deal. I won't guess, especially if I'm doing this online. It's basically the same kind of crap you go through when I looked for a bicycle bell on Amazon because I'm going to do bicycle maintenance this weekend on the Silver Bullet. I don't know about the Red Rocket, maybe not. But the Silver Bullet don't need much. So I picked up a mount for my GPS. It's right here. So I've got this mount. It's just a piece of rubber, goes around the handlebar, and then this is the little GPS unit. I already own this thing. And so it's a Garmin. And so it basically makes it so you can wrap the strap around it and it holds tight to the handlebar. This is going to be my speedometer and it's going to be my whole thing on the bike. It's perfect. This thing was like $10. So for $10, I've got a bike computer. I don't have to have my phone on the handlebars. I don't have to do any of that. This will do a lot. Takes 2 AAA batteries. You get 7 days of use out of 2 AAA batteries. And then I'll use rechargeables, and I'll just always have charged ones at the ready, so it won't cost anything. And so I got this real low profile bike bell. You almost don't even see it. And it's just this little thing, you flick it and it goes bing, bing, like a little tuning fork. And it's tiny, and you won't even see it on the handlebars. And so I'm taking that Silver Bullet bicycle and I want it to still be a commuter bike to get around town on. And I don't like having to yell at people on the bike trails and shit. I like to be able to just go cha-ching, cha-ching on my bell. But I don't have a bell on the Silver Bullet. So I'm like, okay, I spent time over days, probably a week, looking at all these low-profile bicycle bells because, China Mart's got, Walmart, or not Walmart, but Amazon, China's on, has 50 different ones, the Happy Lucky Bell, the Bright Sun Bell, the Red Dawn Bell, the Communist Block Bell, whatever. They got 150 different China names. And so I'm like, I'm doing homework, trying to figure out which one do I get. And then I'm like, well, this one, I had to cut out all the ones that didn't have a hinge. Like if it's something you have to slide onto the handlebar, I'm gonna have to take off the brake levers, the shifters, the bar tape, slide the thing on, and then put my handlebars back together. No, fuck that. I'm getting one with a hinge. And then one was cheap and it needed like a Phillips screw driver to put it on. The other one needed an Allen wrench to put on. I'm like, that's the one. And so I can do that kind of shit with grocery shopping now because it's all on my screen in front of me, and I don't have to get out of someone's way because, how is it when you go to the grocery store and you're in an aisle and there's only one other person in the aisle with you? How is it that that person's always standing right in front of the thing that you fucking need? Like, I need crackers, and I'm in the crackers aisle, and there's 5,000 other things in this aisle, and this person is just standing right in front of the crackers. And so I go up there, and I'm like, okay. And then the person might be, oh, am I in your, oh. I'm like, oh no, take your time, take your time. I got nothing but time on my hands today. So yeah, I don't have to do that shit anymore. I'm digging this whole grocery delivery thing. It's not a bad thing. Let's see, in fact, is it on my way? I gotta check it out, because they will cut me out here. Is it? Oh, it's on the way now. So I'm gonna have to cut this video and finish it later when they show up. I'm gonna have to keep checking. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I mean, so things are different now. The coupons, for example. I was talking about that in another video recently, and used to be able to rock the coupons back in the day, but they've kind of ruined it now. That TV show with all the crazy coupon people came out, and then coupons were pretty much ruined. And but I had a chest freezer at my home when the FBI raided me, and so the reason I got the chest freezer is because we were planning on going to get a half a cow. We were just going to go buy a cow at a farm and then we started filling the chest freezer with things that were on sale, and before we knew it, I'm like, shit, there's not enough room for a cow in here. And so the way we filled the chest freezer over a span of 6 months or so was, whenever you go grocery shopping, go to the meat aisle, what's on sale. They almost never have coupons for good meat, so forget, that doesn't matter. And so whatever's on sale this week. And I would also know in my mind, this place is good for this grocery store is good for that. And I had like 3 different grocery stores that I would rotate through, depending on where I was and what I needed to buy. Different stores were good for different things. And so I ended up with a year's supply of meat in a freezer. But it was always because I would just, oh, that's really cheap this week. Boom, just gobble it up. You get like, this one place had beef tenderloins on sale for ridiculously cheap. I bought like 4 of them, whole tenderloins. How many filet mignons can you cut off of a tenderloin like that? Like 20? So we're having filet mignon. Like, I remember my son was in heaven because we had filet mignon every day for like a week, because I froze some of these tenderloins without pre-cutting them. And so when I thawed one of them, I cut it up into a bunch of steaks, and we had to like go through them. We had to eat them as fast as we could. And I had to like chop them up, use them for other things, whatever. I didn't want to refreeze the meat. So I was telling my son, like, we're going to be eating a lot of steak this week. So we're just eating filet. Who the fuck eats filet mignon every day? But we're paying like $1 for a filet mignon. Because the tenderloin was so cheap, and when you cut 20 steaks off of that fucking thing, they're like $1. Maybe two. But $2 for a filet mignon, that's better than you're gonna get at a restaurant. So whatever. You're gonna pay $30 for that at a steakhouse. And so that's what we would do. We would just stock up on things. I had a vacuum sealer, so when I wasn't lazy like that, could cut up a filet. Oh, here we go. Hold on. All right. Well, that was a good grocery delivery. Oh, they did not run out of rotisserie chicken this week, so I had to chow on that. before things got out of hand. I got to get my haircut scheduled when I'm done with the video here. I'm just going to gang it up on tomorrow's day. Tomorrow's Saturday. I've pretty much made up my mind. I'm just going to try and schedule an appointment where I normally go, but I have to go. Have to is a strong word. I should go to Whole Foods and make an Amazon return, but I do have until August 15th to make that return. So maybe tomorrow I don't know. We'll figure. I have to see. I'll have to think about this a little bit because the haircut's happening. A haircut, even if the girl who normally cuts my hair isn't there, it's happening. I'm getting it done. Doesn't matter. It's too much. It's bothering me too much now. I gotta shave. I'm gonna go soak in the tub at some point in a bit. Rotisserie chicken, awesome. Just didn't have to do anything except grab a couple of forks and dig in. I had to change my shirt because it was a few spots of chicken juice on me, but I did not ravage an entire chicken this time. The last time I was hungry last time, but it was in a different place. It was the day after 50 miles of biking, and I hadn't eaten anything all day on Sunday. I went to church, got done with church, went grocery shopping, walked down there, walked back. The chicken was in the bag. Was wafting up the whole time home. I get home and I'm like, yeah, I fucking tore it up. This time I have a big plastic tub full of leftover chicken. So I pulled everything off the bones, put it away. And if I get hungry later, I'll have a snack, make a couple sandwiches, whatever. It'll be awesome. So I'm looking forward to, a little bit of chicken snack later. But like I was saying, I'm digging the online grocery shopping. Everything's different these days. Like I said, the coupons, that's a pain. It's not like it used to be. And so, but whatever it takes, I'll stock up when I'm getting a good deal. That's how I filled my chest freezer back in the day. I never had meat on the grocery list when I went to the grocery store. It got to the point I was such a prepper that grocery shopping usually involved stocking up on perishables, things that you go through. Lettuce, fruit, vegetables, whatever. Whatever I feel like I'm gonna make during the week, and usually I would make 1 or 2 involved meals throughout the week, and the rest of the week would be eating leftovers or easy to make stuff. So I would buy everything that I would need for the 2 meals that I was planning on doing, and everything else would just be whatever. But I would go down the meat aisle and what's on sale? Oh, ground beef's on sale this week. Look at that, it's real cheap. Stock up. Come home, portion it out, get out the Food Saver or whatever. What is the vacuum seal company? The Food Saver. Get out the vacuum sealer, seal all that stuff up, throw it in, date it, put it in the freezer. As long as it's vacuum sealed tight. Cryo sealed from the grocery store to where there's no air bubbles in it at all, or vacuum sealed really well. You can keep meat in the freezer for a year or more. There were times I would pull out some New York strip steaks that were 14 months old out of the chest freezer, thaw them out, boom, they would be just as good as they were the day they were bought. So we would try to not let meat go more than a year, but we had like these baskets in there, and I called them like the bacon file. And it was like going through a filing cabinet. Which bacon do we want today? And there would be like 20 different kinds of bacon in this thing, all in a file system. And it would, like, oh, let's go to the steak files. Let's see what we got here. And just to go digging through what's in there and everything. Oh, do we want filet mignon? Do we want a porterhouse? Do we want a T-bone? Do we want a New York strip steak? Do I want Delmonico today? What do we want? What do we want? We got it all. and it was all just, whatever's on sale. Roasts. Get a bunch of roasts. Because roasts would always be on sale. So, we got thaw out a roast. You got a crock pot meal. We're not even going to be home all morning. Wouldn't it be nice to drop a roast in a crock pot with some potatoes and some carrots and some, onions and vegetables and a bunch of other whatever else, come home sometime this afternoon from archery practice and have a roast just sitting there waiting to be devoured. Same thing with like pulled pork. Throw in a I would get full pork tenderloins, so on one end they're kind of big on one end and skinnier on the other end. The skinny end you'd cut into pork chops, and then the other end I would just keep as a roast and throw that and make pulled pork. No bones. Really good pulled pork from that. Throw that with a couple of cans of root beer in the slow cooker. Let that cane sugar root beer, good root beer, let that sit for 4 hours, come back to that. Yeah, it's good. So just, I'm not going to be like that now, but like there was this one grocery store that had these 1 pound vacuum sealed packs of Kobe beef, ground Kobe beef. And it was always like $5. Sometimes it would be on sale for like $4 a pound. I was like, that's like ghetto hamburger meat prices for Kobe beef. And they would make fantastic burgers. Quarter pound, you get 4 quarter-pound burgers out of a pack. And so if they were on sale, now usually at most grocery stores, these are like $6, $7, $8, $9 a pack, depending on where you go. This one grocery store, I don't know why, they were always on sale. They were always cheap. So anytime I would go to that store, I'd go straight back to where the Kobe beef is. I'd pretty much take all of it, just drop it in the cart. Take the whole stack, just take it all. Like $30, be eating burgers for months. So if it's $5 and you get 4 burgers out of it, that's like what, $1.50 a burger? Like, come on. For Kobe beef, you're not gonna get that at a restaurant for less than $20 for a cheeseburger. Fucking Five Guys charges like $20 now for a burger. So, yeah. That's how I would roll. This freezer here for just me alone, that is a big freezer compared to what a refrigerator would normally have. So I'm going to be strategic about it, but I am going to slowly just have that thing ready. But I got to get some kitchen stuff. I want to make spaghetti. I want to make my homemade spaghetti sauce. I want to do some things. I just don't have the things in the kitchen to do it with. So, I'm moving along, but things are way better now than they were I couldn't cook for shit in the tool shed. The only thing I had to cook with was a hot plate with 2 burners on it. Everything I made was on that. I had no other way of cooking food. So I could basically, and I never used my cast iron pan on that burner because it didn't quite fit right. Even though I could have, I didn't. So it was basically whatever I could boil or just heat up in a saucepan. So I was gonna get a microwave and then I didn't, and then I didn't have enough space there to really do anything. This place, I can pretty much cook anything I want here. I've had better kitchens before, but this isn't the worst by any stretch. This will do it. The oven's pretty nice. It's a convection oven. It does a pretty damn good job. It's not a bad oven. The stovetop's not too bad. These are used appliances. In fact, that makes me wonder, like, these were used appliances. Maybe some of the insect issues I have came from bringing those in here. I don't know. But those are getting better. But I think that's going to be a nonstop battle while I live here. I've got a next step. Next time I get paid, I'm going to take the next step on that fight. And, but like cutting coupons, I was talking about that for a minute. Maybe I'll look for some online. It's not really something I give that. I mean, yeah, you can, if you get into that game, you can do a good job. But when that coupon TV show with all those coupon crazy fucking people, they ruined that shit. They ruined that shit within a month of that TV show coming out. I used to be before those days, when I buckled down, I could go get $150 worth of groceries for $50. I've done that. I did that more than once. I would shock myself, come home with $150 worth of groceries after spending $50, and I'd be like, "You did good." And get out of here. Fruit flies. I had to. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good on that front. The tennis racket thing, that's doing its job. And the little fruit fly trap, it's catching them. So during the day, I'm getting them. During the night, I'm getting them. Getting them out of here. But, I was unemployed when I was doing that coupon stuff. And I had a little girl to feed. And I had time to do it. When I could be organized, I had a 3-ring binder with slot, like the pages that you put your baseball cards in, and I just use that to keep things organized. And I'd make a list for each grocery store and be like, match up the coupons with what's on sale, so you get the double coupon plus the things on sale. You might spend 25 cents for something that costs $3, like, oh, Johnsonville sausages, I'm getting them for 25 cents a pack, and they, what I mean, just whatever. But I won't cut coupons for things I'll never eat or never buy. So when I was living in Amish country, I tried it a couple times when I was trying to fill up my chest freezer, and when I was in that prepper mode, I actually pulled my 3-ring binder out of a box by some random box from when I had moved into that house. I'm like, oh, there's my coupon binder. How about that? And I pulled everything out of it, and I'm like, I should do this. So I went and got 2 Sunday papers one Sunday, opened them up, there was no coupons in them. And I'm like, what? What the fuck's going on? Turns out they had switched to only putting the coupon insert in the Sunday paper every 2 weeks. And I picked the off week. And so I'm like, no, now I gotta know which week to go get the Sunday paper. And the papers got more expensive, of course. And so I had to know what week to go get the paper. I had to pay, whatever they cost for the Sunday paper. And it just became a hassle. And I'm like, screw this. Plus you gotta pull the coupons out, cut them out, put them in your binder and all that crap. And I'm like, and then printing them out. If you're using an inkjet, if you use a laser printer, it's not bad. But if you have an inkjet printer like most of us use, that's expensive. Those ink cartridges cost more than the fucking printer. And they don't last long. And so if you're cranking out coupons, you might actually lose money at the grocery store, because it might cost you more to print the fucking coupon out than it does than what you're going to save at the store. And then the grocery store stopped with the double. We're not doing that double coupon shit anymore. Joe Biden's president. We can't do that. And all the good stuff, that all went away. And so I just was like, I don't got time for this shit. But I do have time to sit in front of a spreadsheet and just see what's what. That's not hard to do. I did it while I was grocery shopping today. When you queue up your grocery shopping order with Walmart, you pick your delivery time first, and then they say you have until such and such time to finish the order or you lose your reservation. You get like half an hour to do your grocery shopping, hit that buy button, and then if you don't make it on time, you have to bump your order ahead. Or you pay them for the delivery, and I'm like, wow, I don't need to pay them for my grocery delivery, for crying out loud. Just get it later in the day, it don't matter. It's not like I'm so hungry that I gotta get it right now. If it was, I'd walk and go down there. But the coupon game, that got ruined a while ago, so I don't, maybe I'll try it, maybe I'll look into it again. If I figure out a way to save some money here and there, I'll good, cool. I can use I can definitely use a system to, any money, a penny saved is a penny earned, right? That's what Ben Franklin used to say. We were just talking about him how they found all those skeletons under his house, and was Ben Franklin a serial killer? I don't know, but he knew how to save a penny to earn a penny. But yeah, so grocery shopping, that's what it is. I was eating a rotisserie chicken, catching up on the Tour de France, and I am now on stage 9. But today was stage 13. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm 5 stages back now. 5 days behind on the Tour de France. Pretty much the same position that I would be in if I was racing in the Tour de France. Trying to keep up with those fucking guys. I'd be still trying to finish stage 5 while they're on stage 13. There'd be like no crowds on the side of the road. There, all the chalk drawings of the riders that everybody's a fan of, they're all smeared and washed off the road. I'm getting honked at and bitched at by the drivers going by, but instead of yelling at me in English, they're like, "Shut the badon, badon, shut the badon," as they go by. Beep, beep. Douche, shut the badon. Okay, fine, same shit, different country. I bet they are nicer to cyclists in France, though, because that's their thing. That's their sport. Nobody else. You really don't see a bike race like that where the entire fucking 2,700-mile bike race has people lining the fucking roads for the whole entire race. That's what the riders say when they ride in the Tour de France. There's nothing like it. Like, you're riding 2,700 miles and people are screaming at you the whole time and chasing after you and wearing costumes, and there's all kinds. It's just a big spectacle. But no, you're not getting the breaking up to the minute news from me about the Tour de France. Like I said, I'm 5 days behind on the bike race, and I'm just sitting in a chair watching it on TV, and I can't keep up with it. And then you're watching me talk about it a week after I talk about it. So you're getting like a 2-week late analysis of whatever stage happened to be today. But this is just my post-race analysis and non-traditional observations that I have absorbed watching this year's Peloton. You're going to get a different analysis from me than any of these sportscasters, including Lance Armstrong's podcast. They play it on NBC right after the tour coverage, but they're not paying him. That's what I understand. Like, they're promoting it and they're airing it, but he's making his millions of dollars from other sources in relation to that podcast. But don't tell me cheaters never win. He's a winner. He's still making money off the Tour de France today in 2025. He cheated his way through it. His last one was, I don't even know, it was like the early 2000s. I don't even think it was 2010 when he stopped. I don't know. This year, as of what I know about today, 184 bikers started the race. 176 are in it now. 8 of them are out. Crashes, mostly crashes. There's 23 teams in the Tour de France. 15 of the teams still have a full team. So I think it was one rider per team There's no team that, as of stage 9, at the beginning of stage 9, I should say, there's no team that's missing more than one rider. 8-person teams. They were showing some of the bikes they were doing, because on the flat stages especially, it's boring. Stage 8 was really boring. There wasn't nothing going on. All the sprint points and all the point competitions were near the end of the race. So for like 2/3 of the race, they're just riding and nothing's going on. So they're just showing you all kinds of other things to keep you entertained, because otherwise it's kind of like, it's like watching the Super Bowl and nobody scored a point for the first 3 quarters, and you're halfway through the 4th quarter and nobody got a field goal yet, and you're just like, what the fuck's going on here? They're showing the Trek Madone carbon fiber, the $20-something thousand bike that one of the teams is riding, and they're going over it in detail, just talking about it. And one of the things that's a tidbit is all of the bikes, these companies can't just make some ultra super bike for the racers that the peasants, can't have, because it was made just for the Tour de France, like a custom built super bike just for this or that guy to ride in the Tour. All the bikes that they ride have to be production bikes. They have to be available to the public within 12 months of the race. And if they aren't, then they would, the company, the Trek, could get kicked out of the Tour de France. A lot of bike companies, that's a general rule of thumb. In fact, there are a couple of Tour de France in the early days where the Tour gave you a choice between 2 bicycles and you had to pick one or the other, and that was it. You couldn't bring your own. You had to ride the bike they gave you, so that everybody would have basically the same bike. And the rules change all the time, and things change all the time, and that's what makes it interesting too. So Johnny Milan, the one sprinter, it's his first Tour de France, but he's a monster. He's in the green jersey now. He's way ahead, and I don't think he's going to lose the green jersey. I think he would have to crash and I think he'd have to break both legs, because he could probably still keep the green jersey with one broken leg. I don't know. This guy, they were saying he puts out 2,000 watts of power during a sprint at the end of a day's race. Now, I don't have a power meter on my bike. That shit's expensive. That's for the big boys. A basic power meter, the cheapest one I could buy, which would be pedals. You can get power meter on your crank arms, or you can get a power meter as pedals that measures the force that you're putting into it. The cheapest set of pedals that I can get would be like $500, $600. And that would be the only thing, that would be my only option on either of my bicycles, because my bikes are too old to put a power meter crank set on. So that would be it. And it's out of my league. That's more than my bikes. That's more than both of my bikes. So I'm just gonna, the estimated power usage, according to Strava, between 100 and 150 watts. That's what I'm putting out. Johnny Milan, 2,000 watts. Now, normally during a stage race, these riders are they're putting out 400 watts of power all day long. But during the sprint, the sprint guys are going so hard, 2,000 watts. Imagine if the end of the world comes and there's no more electricity, and like you're on your bug out property and you got your solar panels, you may have a windmill, whatever you got to make some electricity. Maybe you put a water wheel in the creek, and so maybe you got the creek getting you electricity, you got the sun, and you've got the solar panels, you got the creek paddle, the water wheel, and you got a windmill that can pick up the wind and make some electricity for you. But you should also have, if you're at Johnny Milan's camp, you also see a row of stationary bikes hooked up to the battery bank. And be like, hey Johnny, we need you we need to be able to watch some TV. We want to watch some DVDs. Go out there and put out some 2,000 watt workout so we can charge up our battery and watch an old movie, because we're not going to have Netflix or any of that shit. But if you got yourself a DVD collection, a DVD player, a flat screen TV, you can probably still, you'd be watching Mrs. Doubtfire for the 19th time, and how lame is that going to be? Or just some other lame ass movie, but maybe keep the kids entertained, and it'll be like the old days. It'll be like a flashback to when remember Netflix? Oh yeah, that was fun. But today, I mean, it's a boring stage. Now I'm on stage okay, so this was like from stage 8. There was a breakaway at some point, and they kept it going. They kept themselves a minute ahead, 30 seconds to a minute ahead. And one of the guys got the most aggressive rider award for that stage. So aside from the different colored jerseys, the polka dot, the yellow, the green, the white, some of the riders will have a red number because they all wear their number on the back of their jersey. So if they have a red number, that means that they got the most aggressive rider award for the day before. And they don't give that award out every single day. If it's a boring ass race and nobody's aggressive, they might just say, oh fuck it, we're not giving it out today. But if somebody's got a red number on their jersey, it means they were the most aggressive rider the day before. And so the breakaway got caught 10 kilometers before the end of the race, but one of the riders in the breakaway got the aggressive rider award. Now, Jonathan Milan, the sprinter, because it was a flat race, he came in first place that day. It's his first year in the Tour de France, and even though he's been wearing the green jersey on and off, that was his first stage win at the Tour de France. So cash and prizes and fame and everything else that goes with it's coming his way. The black dude, Grimay, he's not really doing so hot this year. Milan is so far ahead in the green jersey right now that it's like... But the end of stage 9 is worth 50 points to the first person across the line, but then it's like 45 points, 30 points. It goes all the way down to the 15th place across the line, you get points. So if Milan wins the stage for stage 9 and he gets another stage win and the 50 points to go with that, he already got the 20 points halfway through stage 9. So he's just gonna be like, forget it, that green jersey ain't coming off his back. There's been a few sprinters like that. Cavendish from the UK, Mark Cavendish, that motherfucker, if he was in a race, forget it. He won. Nobody could catch that guy. He got the green jersey like every year. Different kind of racing. It's a totally different kind of racing. But yeah, like I said, on the back of the jersey, they got different colored numbers and stuff, and those mean things. When the race starts, the red number, like I said, is the most aggressive rider of the previous day. It might be gold because Century 21, the real estate company, is a sponsor, and they might be wearing a gold number instead of red. I thought I saw a red this year, so I don't know, but it's handed out by judges, a race jury, and the fans vote for it too. So, but there are yellow numbers too, and it's not the same as the yellow jersey. So if all the riders there's a team competition for the best team. And I think it's just like an overall classification of, if you add all the times up for all the riders on the team, who's the best team, who's the fastest team overall. And I don't even know, there could be other factors involved, but there's a team competition. So if they're wearing yellow numbers, that means that their team is currently in the lead for the team competition. And that can change hands from one day to the next. So in 2023, the team of the guy who won the overall Tour de France, they were also wearing the yellow numbers. So it's just like there's tons of little contests, cash and prizes. Like I said, the farmers on the side of the road are in a competition to who can make the best farm field art that gets seen by the helicopter and put on TV, and then they judge all of those at the end of the race, and they get a prize, and they all get to go to Paris and, wine and dine and have a good time. And so the whole thing, like there's so much crap going on with this race that it's not just one winner. It's like a month-long bicycle festival and party for the whole month. We were talking yesterday in the live stream, somebody, I think it was Blue Sky, she says, wouldn't it be cool if they had a prize if somebody could win all 21 stages? And I don't even think that's possible. I don't think there's ever been a Tour de France where one person won every stage. I don't think that's ever happened. I'll look it up, but I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think it could. But like, what if they did offer a prize for that? Maybe $1 billion or something like that, like $1 billion prize. Imagine if they did that. Could you imagine how much cheating would all of a sudden take place? That would be there'd be so much crazy amount of cheating in the Tour de France for that $1 billion payout that you'd have to give Lance Armstrong all of his jerseys back because he was playing fair. You know what I mean? That's how bad it would get if they offered something like that. Another weird tidbit. The commercials suck. The commercials suck for the Tour de France. I hate TV commercials in general. I never watch TV, so maybe like 2 times a year I watch TV where you actually see commercials. I couldn't even believe it. I saw a deodorant commercial. They're using that song, you remember that rap song, the Lick My Pussy and My Crack song? They're using that shit for deodorant now. I'm not kidding. This big black girl gets on and she's all like, my neck, my back, put your deodorant on like that. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. For real. For real. You gonna put that deodorant on your pussy and your crack? My neck, my back. You don't want to smell like that. Like, what the fuck, man? That was so fucking crazy. I had to sit back. I had to rewind. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see? Is that even real? Or was that in my imagination? Fuck, man. Now Lady Speedstick is going to have to use the Wet Ass Pussy song just to be able to compete with that shit. Ain't no secret left in that deodorant, let's just say. But that's that's how crazy the Tour de France is. Back in the 60s, I was watching a little documentary on the side. Back in the day, in the 60s, during the Tour de France, the racers would be coming through a town. They'd all dismount their bikes outside of a fucking bar or a pub or a cafe or whatever you call it in France. And they would all go running in and just raid the shelves, and they would take whatever beer, wine, liquor, whatever they could get their hands on, shove it in the back of their jersey pockets, run back outside, jump on their bikes, and take the fuck off. And they were like, yeah, we would even take water if there was nothing better. These guys are riding 3,000 miles, and they're like, fuck, I don't want no water. Give me a bottle of wine. And that's France. I mean, that's about the most French thing I've ever fucking heard of in my life. All the bike racers in the Tour de France running into a bar to steal all the bottles of wine, and then they're riding down the fucking road with bottles of wine hanging out the back of their fucking jersey pockets. And then, like, the directors of the teams a month later would get bills in the mail from the bar wanting to get paid back for all the wine that got stolen by the fucking riders and shit. And, but, like, these guys, they would run into the bar, grab 2 bottles of wine, shove it in the back of their jersey pocket, and they'd have to spend 10, 15 miles trying to catch up to the back of the peloton. You know, their pockets full of beer and booze and whatever else they could get their hands on. They'd have to stop at the side of the road with their they couldn't just these riders, they just chuck their water bottle off to the side of the road when they're done drinking, and spectators pick that shit up. That's like a souvenir now. So you know, the tree huggers can go to hell if they get mad about it, but the team car has 1,000 water bottles for the racers, you know, for their team. So every day they're passing out a couple hundred water bottles and they're just chucking them to the side of the road because fuck it, we got 1,000 more. And back in the day, you had to keep your fucking water bottle on your bike even when it was empty, because the riders would have to like find places to stop on the side of the road, and they'd all be fighting over a fucking garden hose or something like that. Or they'd be, you know, filling them up with the spigot on the side of a fucking house or something like that. And you'd have to like wait in line and be the first one to try and fill your fucking water bottle so you could get back on the bike and run. And you're just drinking that shit straight out the tap, you know, no fancy filtered water for the bicyclists. So everything was so much more hilarious back in the day than it is now. Everything nowadays is so fucking sanitized. The winners of the fucking races now don't even get to kiss the flower girl. Like, back in the day, they were probably taking the flower girl back to the hotel after the race got done for the day. Now they can't even get a kiss on the cheek from the flower girl after you just busted your ass riding your bike 30 fucking miles an hour for the last 5 hours. Like, what's happening to this world, man? So I don't know. I'm on stage 9, and, you know, I'm trying not to see the spoilers, and, you know, I'm like, if I'm like 8 days behind or more after the tour ends, there's no way I'm gonna not know who won. It's like that's like you set your TiVo to record the Super Bowl on Sunday, and you're trying to go all day at work on Monday without knowing who won so you can watch it when you get home. That shit ain't happening. So, yeah, every now and then a headline pops up in front of me. I'm not looking for it, but there they are. Tadej Pogacar crashed. Vingegaard is in the yellow. Tadej got the yellow jersey back. Like, I see these things, and I'm like, fuck. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened and when, but I kind of know because all I see is a headline on a video or a headline on Google or whatever. I'm not looking for it, but they're going to pop up. Especially when the algorithm knows you're into that shit. So they're just going to throw it at me. So there's no way I'm going to make it to the end of the Tour de France knowing who won unless I get into some fucking weird-ass crackhead bicycle marathon of watching the Tour de France for 4 days straight without sleep. But whatever. Stage 9 got a little bit more entertaining so far. I'm like 30 miles, 30 something miles into the 106 miles of the stage. As of right now, I ate my rotisserie chicken and watched the first sprint point. That's kind of what I'll do. I'll watch the race and I'll be like, okay, when they get here, I'll go do my thing. I'll do something else. I'll hit pause, I'll go away, I'll do something. So I'm like, the first sprint point on stage 9 was like 25 miles into the stage, and it's all flat. So I'm like, I'll watch the sprint point, and then when that's over, I'll wait until they flash the race course on the screen and tell you where the riders are, and I'll hit pause right on that. That way when I come back, I'll be like, oh, that's where they are. And so I'll just kind of hit pause. They're like 30 miles into 100 and something miles. So there's like maybe, let's say there's like 3 and a half hours left, 3 hours, something like that. I don't even know if I'll finish it tonight, that stage. And if I do, I'll be 4 stages back. So, and there's another stage tomorrow. I don't know when the next rest day is even. So, because I'm so far behind, I don't even know. Maybe they'll mention it at some point when the next one is, but I don't even know. I haven't even reached the first rest day yet watching it, and the first rest day was Tuesday this week, and here it's Friday, and I haven't even gotten to Tuesday's stage yet. But they're riding fast. The overall speed of the Tour de France these days, and that's the overall speed of the whole 21 stages, is about 26 miles per hour average speed. On the flat stages for the first 10 days of the race, before they go up into the mountains, it's 30 something miles an hour. But when they get to the mountains and you're going up a fucking mountain in the Alps that's going to take you 2.5 hours to get to the top, they might be going 10 miles an hour the whole way up. They might slow down to like 7. I don't know. I'm usually about 10. That's about where they hit. So I looked up a graph just to see like what was the average speed throughout the Tour de France. It slowly climbs over the years. 1903 was the first Tour de France, and in 2025 they missed a few years because of World War I and World War II, because how can you have the Tour de France in France when the whole fucking country is at war and there's bombs going off everywhere? I mean, that would have made the race a hell of a lot more interesting, but how many of them would have come back alive? It's hard to say. But the German cyclists versus the French cyclists, that would have been interesting. How I wonder how they would have cheated if they held the race those years. But in the first batch of the Tour de France, the first few years, the first couple of years, the speed was about 15.5 miles an hour overall. It kicked up a little bit, maybe 20 miles an hour, maybe between 15 and 20 miles an hour, and then it dropped back down to about 15 for a while. And then something happened, technology, whatever, the speed started to go up into like the 20 to 25 mile an hour range and then beyond. It really kicked up a notch during the Lance Armstrong years. It actually peaked, and then after they kicked all the dopers out, it dropped again, but not by a lot. The average speed really wasn't affected a whole lot by the drugs and the doping and the cheating. But ever since the cheaters got kicked out, it did go down a little bit, but it's been creeping back up since, because the bikes get better, the nutrition, they're scientific about this shit. So they're squeezing out every little thing that they can. But it's almost like they've peaked out on how fast a human being can ride a bicycle, because every time you add 5 miles an hour more to your speed, the amount of power that you need to get that speed goes up exponentially. They're saying that in a vehicle, the difference in horsepower to go from 200 miles an hour to 210 miles an hour is way more than the difference of having a max speed of 100 miles an hour to 200 miles an hour. Like, just that extra 10 miles an hour once you're at that level costs just as much as jumping from 100 to 200 miles an hour did. Power-wise, whatever. The jump from going 60 highway speeds, the jump from going 65, 70 miles an hour to 120 in terms of the power you need is pretty significant, but to go from 120 to 200 is like 10 times more than that. And then the next 10 miles an hour you want to go, it's more than it costs to go from 100 to 200 in terms of horsepower and tires and just everything you need to do. So to go to like 250, to go to if they ever make a car, a production car that can go 300 miles an hour, that's fucking crazy. So, like, if they can figure out how to make a bicycle that can turn your power into speed on the road without a motor, I'd love to see it. But, like, they've got aerodynamics, and you've got weight, and you've got some other things to deal, gearing and some other stuff to deal with, and clothing is a big factor. But at what point have they just peaked out, and that's as fast as they can go? So to make maybe to make the race more interesting, they got to put a motor on the bike. But the motor, right now, if they had a hidden motor on their bike, it's not going to help them that much. It's like having a nitrous boost in the middle of a race. It's not going to get you more than one lap around the track. You know what I mean? It could come in handy if you use it at the right time. But if you burn it too soon, you're carrying around the weight of the battery and the motor for the rest of the race, and it's useless to you. And you're carrying around an extra 5 pounds, maybe. And that 5 pounds means a lot when you're at that level and going that fast. But yeah, my average speed is good enough right now to keep up with the original Tour de France racers, but my bike is 100 times better than what they had. So I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility I could have done that back in the day. That had more to do with endurance more than speed and fitness. That had more to do with, can you actually fucking get on a bike and go that long, more than, you know, all those micro efficiencies that they're dealing with now. And so that pretty much covers where I'm at today. I could give you the Strava update on me since I'm going biking tomorrow. As of right now, on the 18th of July, my miles of adventure are 2,817.1. That's 2,755 miles on the bicycle and 60 miles on foot. We're 28 weeks into the year. January was 141, February was 484, March was 589, April was 530, June was 461, and so far in July it's 213 at the halfway point. The average for the whole 6 months, not including this month, was 434 per month. And so as of the end of June, I got to get 399 every month to hit 5,000. My goal was 2,000. My goal was 2,000, and I crushed it before the year was even half over. So if I'm not making it a goal to hit 5,000, because I don't know what's going to happen. I met my goal. It's all just gravy from here. Extra fries, extra, it's just extra bonus from here. Because you never know what's going to happen. I want to get a car, and if I get a car, I can tell you the bicycle's going to not going to be on that bicycle as much. I will still ride my bike to the bakery. We were talking about that in the live stream last night. I said, if I get this car, I'm still going to ride my bike to work. But it's raining right now. It was nice out all day, but here comes the thunderstorm. Here comes the rain, the daily tropical rain. If I see rain in the forecast, or if I wake up and everything's pouring down, driving to work. I'll probably, on the flip side, I'll probably work a couple of closing shifts here and there. Because I can bring home boxes of cookies at the end of the night. Whatever doesn't sell, we can bring that home, and I can fill this freezer up with, oh my God, each one of these cookies is like 500 to 1,500 calories a piece. So, yeah, that might not be a good idea. I don't know. So, but I'm definitely taking some time off of all the heavy cycling. I've been walking or riding my bike nonstop since May 1st of 2024. Nonstop. I walked 590 miles in 2024. I don't even remember how many miles I rode the bicycle, but the bicycle rides were all here in Houston. Usually 10 miles a day, sometimes 30 miles in a day. Now it's 50 miles a pop. If I get a car, I'll probably start getting back into my photography, and I could combine the bicycle with photography days, that's for sure. Take a camera with me on the bike and go on a circuit, stop and get photos of what I want to get. Combine the two things I love. But right now my body is just telling me I need a break. It's pushed me. I've pushed over the edge, and so now I feel like I'm just going on fumes right now. Some days I feel great and it doesn't bother me. Some days I don't feel good at all. Usually for Tuesdays after the 3-day bakery stretch with the, working Saturday, off Sunday, then Monday, then off, I'm done. Like my body just goes kaput. And then I spend the rest of the week trying to get my energy back, which I have today. But I'm just sitting here like dreading tomorrow morning. It's 5 o'clock right now. I got to get up in 12 hours and go do this again. So right now, this is kind of like, I do like my job, but unfortunately, I have to figure something out so that I'm not burning all this energy away. One of the things I'm thinking of that I'm thinking of it, but I already know I'm not doing it. How do I get some cross training? Riding your bicycle's great, but it makes you stronger, but it also works certain muscles and other muscles get ignored. And CrossFit would be something. There are 3 CrossFit gyms within a very short distance of where I live, like 10 to 15 minute bicycle ride to go to the CrossFit gym. The pros are, it's like having a personal trainer, but it doesn't cost as much as a personal trainer because it's like a class. You got someone leading a class and kicking your ass and yelling and screaming at you and, calling you a flabby, weak piece of shit and all that. And so, like, you need that sometimes. But I looked into one of them didn't have a price, and I'm like, yeah, you know what that means. The other 2 were $200 a month, right up front, like that's what they said, $200 a month. And I'm like, that's too much. It's too much. That's like a car payment. A little bit less than a car payment, but that's like car insurance. That's more than car insurance. It'll get you into shape fast, all around shape, flexibility and all of it. I look for yoga classes, yoga studios. There's nothing anywhere near me. There's a place called Hot Works, and what it is, it's like a yoga studio where you go do yoga, but you're doing yoga watching a TV screen. Like you're at fucking home. Like you can do yoga classes at home on your TV screen. Why the fuck would you go to this place and take a class where they're teaching it on it? It's like watching a yoga DVD, and it's in a hot room. It's in a hot room. That's the thing. Well, you can, this place, if I turn the AC off in this motherfucker on a hot day, I can do hot yoga at home all fucking day. So why would I go pay for that other than like, and it's like, it's all in separate rooms. You get like your own room to do it in, and it's like, so I'm not even gonna get to stare at chicks in yoga pants and like, what's the point? There's nothing in it for me. Like I can do all this at home. So yeah, I'm not doing that. I looked at LA Fitness again, but I'm like, just the shit with the gyms. I'll talk about that in a minute. But LA Fitness is $40 a month, Plus you got to pay $100 for a sign up fee, and then there's a $60 annual fee. So you're into all that, and the pros are supposedly, I don't know, I've never been in the place, but they have a hot tub, a sauna, a steam room, a swimming pool. They have spinning classes, yoga classes, and other things. But yoga class, spinning class, even though it's bicycling again, a spinning class would actually, depending on the type of spinning class, some spinning classes are geared towards cyclists. Some spinning classes are more like an aerobics class where you're lifting weights and doing stuff while you sit on the bike. That would be good. I would go for the hot tub, for the steam room and the sauna, and just, since I'm here, I may as well go to yoga class. I may as well lift some weights. I may as well run like a hamster in a hamster wheel or whatever the new thing is. There's no Planet Fitness anywhere around here. There's a bunch of small gyms. They're all expensive. There's nothing that really makes me go, yeah, I want to go there. So I don't know. It's kind of like I could get a yoga mat and do some yoga here in the place. That might be a thing that I might try to do. But I don't want to do that until I get some curtains. I don't want my neighbors looking at me like a freaking doofus through the window doing yoga, checking out yoga chicks on TV. So I need to have a curtain for that one. But yoga would probably be the best thing for me in terms of like flexibility. It works your whole body. It works all your muscles more than you would ever think if you've never done it. And it's like going to the chiropractor at the same time. You'll be doing a yoga pose and all of a sudden your back will just be like, it'll sound like you're watching the old school Transformers. And all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, my back don't hurt no more. It's the best. But the problem is, like with these gyms, the biggest thing with Planet Fitness, or not Planet LA Fitness, I read the reviews on Google Maps. There's 2 near me. There's 2 that I could go to. They got low ratings because I keep saying I live in the ghetto. It looks like I live in a really nice affluent suburban neighborhood until you go into a fucking store, and then it's like, where the fuck did I just end up in Compton? Where the fuck am I? Like, you end up in the fucking ghetto when you go to any store around here, and it's like, I'm looking at my next door neighbor that lives in a fucking castle, a literal fucking castle with a turret and the whole thing, surrounded by a fucking gate. Like, I mean, it's like the kind of thing that a Super Bowl winner would have. And then I go to the grocery store, and like I said, at Target, there was like an hour-long line for the self-checkout because of all the people stealing shit. Like, it's one step away from those ghetto-ass grocery stores where everything is behind a glass cabinet, and to get a bag of Cheerios, you gotta fucking have somebody unlock the thing, and forget about it. If you want some Kool-Aid packets, they're in a vault, and they can only open the vault at certain times of the day, and yeah, that kind of crap. So all the reviews of LA Fitness in my neighborhood, the 2 of them, are like, it's totally fucking ghetto, it smells, everything's broken, the sauna is broken and has been for years. That was a specific comment. They say half of the equipment's broken. They said everybody treats you like shit and you can't cancel your membership. And there you go. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need that. But here's another way the government's fucking you over. Now, hear this. So the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, they were proposing a rule, which is basically a law that they make up. They were calling it the click to cancel rule, which would require businesses to make canceling a subscription as easy as it is to sign up. It would be a requirement. So if you sign up online for LA Fitness, you can log in and cancel your account tomorrow. And the fucking federal appeals court shut it down on July 8th of this year, just a couple of weeks ago, before it was supposed to go into effect on July 14th, and the federal courts shut it down. So think about that for a minute. The ruling was, the courts ruled that the alphabet agencies and the federal government just can't make up random rules and enforce them on the people without a law being passed by Congress. But that's the first fucking time that they've said that they can't do that. Because look at the IRS. The IRS does it all the fucking time. They just make up some fucking rule that says, oh, if we think you're late on your taxes, we can seize your bank account. No court order, no due process. The IRS can just show up and take everything you fucking own and then tell you that you owe them money, and then you have to be the one to hire a fucking lawyer and go to court to try and get your shit back. But you don't have any money now to hire the lawyer, do you? Haha. Right? The courts didn't say that, the courts didn't stop them from doing that. The ATF, they make up on the fly what gun's legal, what gun's not legal. This week, a suppressor that you can screw on the end of your fucking handgun, it's illegal. Next week, it's legal. 2 weeks later, it's not legal anymore. You can't have a gun that's this long. You can only have a gun that's this long. Then you have a gun this long, it's illegal. But a gun this long is legal. But this long is not legal. But next week, it's legal. But then the week after that, it has to be this long. And you have to have a curly trigger. You can't have a straight trigger. You can't have a sight that can see. They just make up random fucking shit whenever the fuck they feel like it, and the courts don't get in the fucking way and tell them they can't. But the one fucking time one of these piece of shit fucking government agencies comes up with a rule that actually helps people, that actually works for the people instead of against the people, the courts are right there. No fucking way. No fucking way, you can't do that. We're not letting you get away with that shit. No. Injunction, stop it. That's not constitutional. You can't do that. You can't just go making up rules whenever you feel like it without an act of Congress. So, fuck you. Fuck you. All you fucking scumbags in the federal government can go eat a fucking dick. And I know that the little dicks that you're going to eat are little kids on Jeffrey Epstein Island or wherever the fuck you go do that now. But get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. The one time one of these alphabet agencies is like, hey, let's help the peasants out. The courts are like, fuck that, no. Right off the fucking bat. They were all over that shit. Fuck no, don't help those fucking piece of shit citizens. Fuck them, they're shitizens. They're not citizens, they're shitizens. Fuck them. Bang the gavel. Court dismissed. Fuck these people, man. So now the gyms now LA Fitness and all the fucking gyms can sit back and breathe a sigh of relief. Whoo, now, we thought people were going to cancel their memberships, but now they can't. Haha. So I'm not joining no fucking gym. Fuck all that. $40 a month would be all right. If I could cancel it when I need to, if I'm broke, and I don't have to get a separate credit card just for that membership so that I can cancel the credit card when I need to cancel the membership. I could just actually cancel the fucking membership. And if it didn't have 1 and 2 star reviews saying that everything's broken and they treat you like shit and the sauna doesn't work and it hasn't worked for the last 5 years, and do they have a hot tub and does it work and did people pee in it or what? Okay, I don't need this shit. I got a fucking bathtub. I got salts. I got incense. I got the bath salts. I got the eucalyptus oil. What the fuck do I need to go sit in a hot tub at a gym for? Back when I was living in the tool shed, that was appealing because that shower sucked. Even after he fixed the shower, it sucked. But now I got no motivation to go to the gym. CrossFit, $100 a month, I'd be like, you know, $200 a month, come on, $50 a week to go get yelled at by some roid raging douchebag, you know, calling me a fat piece of shit, screaming at me and telling me to fucking run faster and lift more shit and squat harder and, you know, whatever. It might motivate my ass to get in shape, but it's just too much. That's for the rich people in the Woodlands to do. So I don't know. If they had a yoga studio where yoga classes usually aren't that much, anywhere from $5. Seriously, I used to go to yoga for $5 a class at a real yoga studio. Certain days, certain times were cheap. $5 to $25 a class is the range that I was paying back in the day when I used to do that. But there's nowhere to go here. I would go because you're more motivated to do better when you're there. If there was something I could walk to, I'd probably be, like if there was like a little gym, like a Planet Fitness or some, you know, podunk gym, I'd go if it was walkable from here. There was a church where I used the Lutheran church that I went to once. They had fitness classes, but they were women's fitness classes. And then they had a little thing. Men are also welcome, but you look at the pictures and it's just a bunch of middle-aged women. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to seem like the fucking creepy guy at the playground sitting in a van that says free candy on the side of the van, going to this fitness class, and I'm the only dude, and like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. No, I'm going to find something else to do. So, I don't know, like some other kind of fitness thing would be a good idea. It's just, it might actually help me with this lack of energy and stuff. It will hurt for a week or two, and I'll feel run down and even worse than I feel right now, but then I'll turn around and have more energy. And instead of like the cycling fitness, the legs and the heart and the different things that the cycling does for me, I'll have a more like well-rounded overall kind of fitness, and the cycling will get faster as a result of that, and I'll lose weight and whatever. But they sure don't make it easy. They make it easy to get fat. In America, fuck man, you want to get fat? We got a billion different ways to do it. It's all dirt cheap. Anybody can do it. It takes almost no effort at all. But if you want to be healthy and get in shape, fuck man, you gotta be rich. You gotta, like, just to be able to afford the good, healthy food. Like, you know, most people, all they can afford is fucking 2 liters of pop and a bag of Cheetos for lunch. And now they won't even let you do that on food stamps anymore. So what are you supposed to fucking do? Get a bag of lettuce for your fucking food stamps for the month? I don't even know. But anyway, I'm just going off the rails. It's been real. It's getting dark outside because of the weather, not because of the lateness in the day. But that's all I really had to talk about today. Peace out.